Okay, let's talk about policy for a moment. We talk about Trump scandals on the David Pakman Show. We are under no false pretenses that it is anything but constant scandal under the Donald Trump administration, constant political abortions, constant vile actions, constant embarrassing events to the United States of America perpetrated by our president and his cronies. But we can't ignore that a lot of those scandals can sometimes provide cover for really horrible things that Republicans are doing. And one of those things that Republicans just did this week is yet another vulture capitalist gift to major corporations. In the middle of the night, very late Tuesday, early Wednesday, call it what you want, the Senate voted 50-50 to give major immunity against lawsuits to not daycare providers, not social nonprofits, not some other type of company or industry known for doing really great things for lots of people, but providing lawsuit immunity to credit card companies, car lenders, and companies like Equifax and other financial firms. But hold on a second. David, you said that they voted 50-50, so it didn't pass, right? Well, when the Senate votes 50-50, the vice president gets to vote to break the tie. And our buddy, hardcore religious right ideologue Mike Pence broke the tie in the Senate, and the House approved it as well, and Donald Trump is expected to sign it. So what are the details? There is, or I guess soon we'll be saying there was, a rule from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that stops or stopped lots of financial firms from doing two things that are not good for the average consumer. Number one, it forced arbitration agreements, or companies would try to force arbitration agreements, where companies wouldn't do business with consumers who wouldn't sign away the right to sue the company in a real court. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau put in place a rule which said, hey, businesses, you can't make people preemptively say, we will never sue you. You can't do that. And the other thing that the CFPB rules did was prohibit credit card companies and many other financial firms from requiring consumers to sign away their right to bring class action lawsuits, because even if you are not suing someone in court in the way that part one of this prevents, you could still conceivably be part of bringing a class action lawsuit, and you were signing away your right to do that. The CFPB prevented companies from forcing you to do that. Those rules are being eliminated. This is a huge, huge win for the banking industry, for the financial services industry. And why should we worry, right? I mean, why should anyone ever be in the position of having to sue one of these companies, right? Oh, wait a second. Equifax just had a major security breach, which compromised the data of hundreds of millions of Americans. And most of you whose data was held by Equifax didn't choose to do business with Equifax. As a credit reporting bureau, Equifax has your data, even if you have never provided it to Equifax, or as far as you know, you've never done business with Equifax. And there's a sort of logistical question that I'm getting from a couple people on this, which is, okay, fine, David, this is bad. But if it was 50-50 in the Senate, why are you pointing the finger at Republicans for the fact that this was passed? Well, hold on a second. Every Democrat in the Senate voted to keep the rules that we had, and two Republicans also voted to keep the rules that we had, Lindsey Graham and John Kennedy. Every other Republican voted to scrap the rules, which got them to 50 votes, and then Mike Pence broke the tie. The term in play here is called regulatory capture, okay? If you've ever taken an undergraduate economics class, you probably have heard the term regulatory capture. If you've taken political science classes, you may have heard the term. Regulatory capture means a regulatory agency that is supposedly there to protect you, right, to protect consumers. They end up advancing the interests and the priorities of the corporations that they are supposed to be regulating, very often at your expense, right, at the expense of consumers that they are supposedly meant to protect. I go back to Equifax. Equifax had this major security breach. It is the consumers who should be increasingly protected from companies like Equifax and their wrongdoing or negligence or neglect. But instead, what this law change will do is it will protect Equifax from being sued by people like you and me and us participating or bringing class action lawsuits. And again, we have no choice but to do business with Equifax because they're a credit reporting bureau. So the entire both parties are the same thing. I'm the first to tell you that on many issues, both Democrats and Republicans by and large are the same. But there are many issues where there are major differences. And if anyone still thinks both parties are the same, you've stopped paying attention a long time ago. That is one of the most tired talking points. Another version of that talking point is when you point to corruption or you point to whatever, right? Both sides do it, and I see both sides. False balance. I mean, it's logically fallacious. And I'm talking about in casual conversations. People write to me, they say, David, I want to better know how to debate politics with people in my life. Don't fall for false balance where you have these supposed fair arbiters of politics who like to present themselves as objective when they say, hey, listen, I recognize that both sides do A, B, C, D, whatever. Sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not. So don't fall for that red herring when you're talking to someone and they try to get out of a conversation, out of defending whoever it is they voted for by saying both sides do it anyway. Discussion about this on our Reddit discussion forum, davidpakman.com/REDDIT. Join us there. We'll take a break. Back after this. Today's program is made possible in part by GameFly, which is sort of like Netflix for video games. They've got over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can also stream games. You don't even need a gaming console or a computer because you can stream games through your Amazon Fire Stick or Roku box and then use your mobile phone as the controller. You can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price, never with due dates or late fees. And our audience can get a 30-day free trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included, no contracts, and you can also stream the games. I think I mentioned that. You can also rent games through the mobile app. Get a free 30-day trial for David Pakman Show viewers and listeners and support our show at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.